morning. So we thought today we'd have a little chat about staying in the game. And you might be thinking, well, what game are we talking about, or what are you talking about today?
It's the game of life, but we were both hockey players.
That's right. Well, I still am. If we're ever freed up and allowed to play again.
Oh dear. And one of the basic rules for hockey was that you must turn up for training.
If you don't train, you don't
get
play.
You don't play. And we want to play in the game of life, and we want to have all of the energy that is required.
And so
really
that
play.
means we have to do the training. So you might be thinking, well, what sort of training are we doing for life? But it's all about setting yourself up so that you can feel a bit fitter, you can have a bit more energy, so that you can think a bit more positively, and all of those things allow you to turn up for the game of life and to really enjoy it to the max.
And when you turned up for training, you have to turn up with a great attitude.
And even though sometimes the coach says we're going to practice this again, and we've practiced it for a long time, and when you're my age of 48, you've been practicing it for 38 years, some of the things.
And some days you might have to do shuttle sprints.
Sometimes you have to do shuttle sprints. Oh, not so good.
But you have to have a great attitude, because if the coach sees you with a very poor attitude, you don't get to play.
You'll not get picked for the team.
So we have to show up for ourselves with a great attitude so that we can really claim the things that we want for ourselves.
And one of the other things when you're playing the game is never giving up. And we see this in particularly in sport all the time. People never give up, and they keep going. Sometimes we've seen it. Sometimes even when somebody is injured, they're sort of limping around. They're still trying to play, even though it's obvious that they shouldn't really be.
Yeah, if you're still breathing, you're still playing.
You're still playing. And so we have to have this same idea when we're trying to play the game of life. We want to give it our absolute best shot. And some days you turn up and you're feeling absolutely amazing, you're ready to go after everything, and then the next day you turn up and for whatever reason, and sometimes you don't even know why, but sometimes on a given day you just don't feel your absolute best, and you're just not as sharp, you maybe don't have the same feel, and so those are the days actually when we have to show up even harder for ourselves. We have to give ourselves the best of what we have on that day. And
that sort of reminds me, whenever you're thinking, I'm going to training now, and you look in the cupboard for your gear, and you look for your gear and you think,
oh, it's not there.
My gear's not here for my hockey training.
So then you head off to the laundry basket and you go, oh,
is it there? And there it is. And so you have a choice to make. Do you say to yourself, I don't think I could go in that dirty old gear. I might be a bit smelly. And you just say, I'll give it a miss this week. Or do you just root it out of the basket, you give it a wee spray over with some nice deodorant,
Febreze or something.
You pull it on and you just go anyway, because you have to stay in the game.
Yeah, and so, that you can relate that to, sometimes for example, you walk to the fridge, you open the fridge door and you think, maybe I forgot to do the shopping this week. And so you're trying to stay on plan, you're looking to have more energy, you're looking to shape up a little, and you look in the fridge and you think, there's not too much in there. But it's about making the best choice you can on that day. So it's about seeing, well, okay, I've got a tin of tuna in the cupboard there, let's do something with that. And you piece together the best you can, because the alternative is choosing the worst you can and just saying, oh well, I've nothing in the fridge,
I've not got the perfect ingredients, so this is a day off.
And so it's about turning up and doing the best you can on that day. And it's about practicing because, you know, when you arrive to the fridge and there's nothing in there, then you realize, oh, there's something I need to do to make sure that next time I come to this fridge, it's a little bit better.
So we then have to plan ahead, think about the days that we're going to need, what we're going to need for the week, what we're going to need for a specific day, and we have to plan it so that we know we don't turn up to training with smelly old clothes on the next occasion. So it's learning the lesson as we go.
Yeah, and when we think about practicing as well, I think another really key area with practicing is really practicing our thoughts. You know, it's so easy to allow the thoughts to just come in, whatever it is and wherever it's coming from, and we don't filter it in any single way. And if those thoughts are negative, if those thoughts are bringing us down, we just don't filter it, just let it happen to us. But you know, if you really take time to practice, you can start to hear the thoughts coming in, and you can start to work on saying, well, is that really true? Can I think about that in a different way? Can I think better about that? Because when you empower yourself with thinking better, it makes everyday life so much easier. But it does take practice. I mean, we have millions of thoughts that come into our heads every single day, and it takes practice to sort of start to filter that so that you get the ones that really help you. You know, it's so important that we tune in to the right channel up here that is going to take us forwards, that's going to make us feel better, that's going to help us to do the things that we really want to do in our lives. So practice working on those thoughts.
Practice is so important, and you know, whenever we are going back to our hockey game and we're thinking about turning up for training and going along to practice, well, you know, some people are not too keen on training and practicing and doing all of that sort of stuff, and they don't turn up, and before you know where that you are, your fitness level has gone down, so you didn't turn up for training and things have actually got worse. And you haven't been working so much on your skills.
No, you haven't been working on your skills, but other people have been working on your skills. So before you know it, you find that you're the person sitting on the bench watching everybody else play.
Not playing. Not playing. So that's
and you know, sometimes this is the things that some of the ladies would say to us is, you know, they've got to a stage in their life where they feel that they're out of shape, their energy's got really low, and they're sitting on the bench, they're watching life pass them by. And this is the thing that we really, you know, we don't want to see happening in our lives. And so we have to start practicing to make things a little better. And, you know, when you think about it in those terms about practicing, none of us wake up one day and do everything perfectly from there on in. We have to practice doing it a little bit better. And we have to know that sometimes when you're practicing, you make mistakes. Do you think that?
You make plenty of mistakes, and you know, sometimes you have to appreciate the mistake. Whenever we were watching football matches or whatever, and you see somebody take a shot and they miss, and you think, how'd they miss that? And then the other times you'll say to yourself, oh gosh, you really appreciate them having a go, because if you don't take the shot, you will never hit the goal. And so without the practice, without really doing those things, making the mistakes, falling down, getting back up again, and having another go, you'll never reach the things and get the energy, have the fitness, be in shape, do all the things that you maybe would want to do. You'll never reach that unless you're willing to make the mistakes and keep getting back up again.
And of course, it's the getting back up again. That is the staying in the game. And so if you can start with, it's almost like it's the game of life. And so we have to see ourselves in the game of life. And you know, one of the other things about sport is when we think about a game of hockey, a game of golf, whatever it is, you know, there's ebbs and flows. So sometimes...
Thank goodness!
Thank goodness, exactly. And golf is a really good one for this. So you're going along and you're not doing too well, and you discover that you're down in your match and the other person seems to be doing so much better, and you're not in the groove, the swing feels bad. And you know, one of the coaches always used to say to me, he says, just have patience, because the tide will always turn, it will always turn in your favor. And so, you know, this is like the game of life. You have the ebbs and flows, and you have times when everything you do seems to be great, and then you have those times when everything just seems like it's working against you. Everything feels hard. It feels like you've got no rhythm with what's going on. But you have to be patient and you have to keep trying. Keep yourself in the game, because the tide will turn. You will start to get into that flow where things become a little bit easier. But you have to keep that belief. You have to really believe and trust in what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. Keep practicing and, you know, really work on that, keeping yourself in the game, because there's always the turns in every single game.
And you know, as we practice, we just get better and better and better. Everything just slots into place. It becomes like just normal stuff. It becomes easy and automatic to do all of the things that we want. We create these little standards for ourselves, these little rules for our life, where we say, we're turning up for training, we're going to practice, we're going to plan ahead, we're going to show up, we're going to have a great attitude and give our best shot for that day, whatever that will be. And you know, when we get that over and over, we really slot into that groove of claiming our best life. And you know, it's great when we can do that.
So, you know, we want to encourage you to really think about staying in the game, enjoying the game in the moment, you know, because it is so important that as we go through this game, we enjoy it. Otherwise, what would be the point?
Nobody wants to sit on the bench.
Nobody wants to sit on the bench and want to take part. Exactly.
Nobody wants to sit on the bench, and whenever we're living our lives, we want to be active and involved in it to the max.
Yes, absolutely. And making the most of every single minute that you get in the game of life. So, you know, really stay in the game, practice, train, and enjoy the match when it comes to that bit.
And never give up.
Exactly. So hope you all have a fabulous day and stay in the game.
We'll catch up with you soon.
Okay. Bye for now. Bye bye.